few years ago, members of the iRacing V8 Supercar community came together to articulate an idea. Then, on August 10, 2014, the V8 Supercars Online Premier Series had its first race day at Circuit of the Americas, and Madison Down claimed the victory.
Madison Down, the winner. Phil Sells second. Hampstead third. Your podium. And Sean Kelly not far off it in fourth. But what a result. What a race.
This first test season, however, would go to TTL's Richard Hampstead. 2015 was a defining year in V8 Scops, the first year-long championship in iRacing V8 Supercar history. The season was filled with many highs and lows. Few drivers were triumphant. Most faced heartbreak. Young gun Jared Philsell was crowned our champion. But in 2016, it's a new championship and a new opportunity for our passionate sim racers. Who will be champion?
Good evening and welcome to V8 Online's live coverage of the V8 Supercars Online official series. This week, round 7 from Sebring International Raceway, 25 laps, 19 car field. Currently on screen we've got Michael Cracknell. Guys are just starting their first qualifying lap of 2 tonight here. We'll bring up the race preview real quick, get a look at what the conditions are. So you can see Sebring tonight, pit lane speed of 72 km an hour. That will come into effect. I believe there is a pit stop required in tonight's race. Bring up the second preview screen. There we go, strength of field 2,893, track temp 40, which are a bit higher from what we saw last time in V8 Scops. It's going to give the guys a few bit of tyre wear challenges. Sebring notably hard on tyres, and then the wind pretty big from the north. She said it's going to be pushing them from right to left into turn 1 tonight. That'll be very interesting to do with, especially coming through Tower Turn. It's going to push them off the apex at turn 13. We'll go back to the action. Just waiting for our first few cars to actually set some lap time. See where we're going pace-wise. We should be in the 2-minute bracket tonight at Sebring. See Cracknell's coming around the final corner, Sunset Bend, a very famous corner at Sebring. A lot of the corners here at Sebring are famous because they're all very unique. He just comes across the line. First flyer, what's he do? A 2:02.8. He's 4/10 off pole at the moment, which is fourth in El Nabi. Just got him on screen coming through turn 2. So the grid's starting to settle down at the moment. 2:02.426, quickest time so far from Forzen. Next quickest is a 2:02.9 from Aylwood. So Forzen's got a good 5/10 over the field at the moment. The name I haven't seen so far is Calvin Fioradent. I've probably butchered that. Haven't seen him around so far this season. Currently 15, car 15 in the field tonight. As I said before, 19 cars. Relatively low strength of field. I think a lot of guys feeling it from last night in the 500 have taken the night off. And, noticeable absences, of course, Jake Burton, Ethan Grug, Galton, Bo Cubis from last week haven't made an appearance. Neither is Joshua Rogers. Just looking at Forza and Nabi coming through turn 13. Run towards the very tricky back section before the back straight. It's called Le Mans. It's very committed double left-hander he's going through now, and then this right, left, right is very easy to catch a slowdown, especially in the V8 because you need to use a lot of curb to get it turned. He's avoiding a fair bit of there for us, and this right-hander is coming through now can catch you out. He does a good job. He's right on board him down the back straight. Coming into Sunset Bend, it's a very tricky corner to get right. It's very committed under brakes. You can go in a lot deeper than you think because it's a very long radius corner. You can just keep carrying the brake. It's got to watch you don't hit the inside front. He comes across the line to complete his final flying lap. And he does improve a 202.332 there for Forsen. Next car coming across the line is Richard Aylward. He does not improve, he goes 3/10 slower. Michael Cracknell, does he improve? Yes, he does not actually. He's very close, 1/100th of a second slower. So he slots in. Oh, Luke Harvey, late jumper, late mover there. He jumped up from 4th to 2nd. He's on a 202.8. Tyson Williams, our winner from last night, running a Preston High Commodore tonight, jumps in to 5th place on a 203.2. There's any cars remaining on the laps. Got Craig Jones coming through Sunset Bend now to complete his final lap. He's currently sitting 17th on a 205 dead. Puts the power down to Sunset Bend. What can he produce? It's a 2-minute 4.2. Bumps him back up to 15th where he was. He did get shuffled down a bit as a few guys set times. Daniel Trim, we're waiting on him to set another lap. Todd Parks. And Jason Quire. No, so that's the grid set. We'll bring up the grid really quickly while everyone waits for the gridding sequence. So quality results, Forsen Elnabi grabbing a pole position. I think that might be his first ever pole position in the Monday Night Soft as well by a substantial 0.5 of a second over Luke Harvey from Evolution Racing Australia. Richard Aylward in 3rd with Michael Cracknell in 4th. 5th place goes to Forsen's teammate Matthew Stratford, with 6th going to Tyson Williams. 7th is Greg Sharp and 8th Jason Quire. 9th and 10th go to Bruce Keeley and Mario Vlasic. Just over the page we have Ross Rizzo and Matt Morris in 11th and 12th. 13th Todd Parks. 14th is David Miller. 15th, as we just saw before, Craig Jones. 16th and 17th are Christy Angelo and Daniel Trim. 18th is Tim Foltz, and rounding out the field of 19 cars is Calvin Fiordent on a 206.3. So that's our field for tonight. It's going to be an interesting race for sure. 25 laps. I'm not sure of the fuel restriction. I've heard rumours around the traps. It's a 2-stopper. You can fuel save for 1 stop. It is going to be tricky to do that though. We'll see how it all plays out though. I think tonight it's going to be better. You might see more fuel saving because of the higher track temp. It's going to be harder on the easier on the tyres. But you also, the guys who do 2-stop, they're just going to come flying back through the field on that fresh rubber. So we've got the cars on the grid now. So just our leaders just gridded up now. Forsen Elnabi. It's going to be a tricky run to turn 1. Turn 1's an interesting corner as well. If you can hang it tough around the outside in 1 and 2, you're a very brave man, but you can get the switchback later on as the revs begin to rise.
Green flag.
And we go. 25 laps of Sebring is underway. Good start from Forsen. Gets a good jump. Covers off Luke Harvey. The Aylward getting a run on Harvey there as well. Great start there from the number 7 car. That's Matt Stratford. Aylward to the inside. Tyson as well, moving up as well, up into 4th position from where he started on the grid. A little bit of contact back in the field. Not seeing anyone spearing off the road, which is good. Elnabi leads the way into turn 2. Oh, we're off in the back of Mo, Vlasic. Grab a replay of that when I can get him up. So coming out of 2 into the kink at 3. Who's that? Looks like Greg Sharp's had a bit of contact with Mario Vlasic. Bit of a severe netcode contact there, and Vlasic just gone around. He's at the back of the field. In 18th, Jason Quire as well as in 19th. Don't think he took the start. But back live now with our leader, Forsen Elnabi. Harvey looking down the inside there. So it goes Elnabi, Harvey, Aylward, Williams, Stratford, Cracknell, Keeley, Rizzo, Jones and Morris, your top 10 as we come through turn 13. Everything in the back of the pack seems to have settled down after the shenanigans it was turns 2, 3 and 4. Aylward looking very racy on the back of Harvey there through Le Mans. Doesn't get a good of exit though. We'll see what he can pull down the straight in the draft. Harvey's actually very close to the back of El Nabi coming through Sunset Bend. He goes a bit wide though. That gives Aylward a look. Tyson Williams closing up as well. They're on the back of Aylward. Oh, Tyson get that power down. What can he do into one? It's all Linus Derby between the top four at the moment in the background as well. Cracknell having a look on Stratford. Cracknell not having a great qualifying or a great start. Shuffled back to 6th position. El Nabi looking strong. Harvey with a dive. Doesn't quite pull it off though. El Nabi's looking good out of the corners, but he's not looking as strong under brakes as Harvey. Maybe Harvey's just a bit more game to throw the nose in there at the moment, but he's not looked as strong under brakes that we've seen over this sort of 1 1/3 laps. Everything is sort of settling down. We got Matt Morris and who's that? Todd Parks and Greg Sharp. Todd Parks is getting the move on Sharp there, tied up to 11. Oz Cracknell, we just seen in the back of shot, having a look down the inside of Stratford, not getting the manoeuvre done, just trying to psych him out there a little bit. Once again though, Harvey is ridiculously close to El Nabi at the apex of the corner. He just loses it off on the exit part. So maybe El Nabi's geared the car for traction more than anything else. Of course, Sebring is all about getting the power down. It's a very low grip surface just by the nature of it. It's essentially a street circuit, but without the walls being as close as they would normally be. So we're on board with Harvey here on the run down the back straight towards Sunset Bend. He's pulling along nicely in the draft here. Can he throw the nose in there at Sunset? He's having a look. El Nabi's giving him that position. He's just slotted in behind him. I'm thinking El Nabi might actually be fuel saving. We'll have a listen next time we come down that straight and see what El Nabi's doing. Because fuel saving, from what I've read on the forums, Aylward right out sideways. Back to what I was saying, you'd seen on the forums earlier this week, you can fuel save and do it in one stop. Otherwise it is a 2-stopper. So it's sort of one foolish tank from Tyson Williams on the inside of his teammate and Richard Aylward into turn 1. Richard's making that relatively easy. Williams clears him. Stratford though is showing the nose as well. Cracknell getting right up behind Stratford as well. So that's Tyson up onto the podium now. El Nabi is second. So the real tell now is if El Nabi's fuel saving, I expect Harvey to absolutely clear away from him in this first half of the lap. In fact, we'll actually listen to El Nabi get into a hairpin. I can't quite get on board, can't get that camera right in time. We'll have a listen here. So there's a lot of places you can fuel save around Sebring. Turn 1, where we just came through the hairpin, up ahead as well, you can do it. And then at the back straight into Sunset Bend, you can lift off early. We'll see what he does. Yeah, El Nabi's definitely fuel saving. So that's going to be something to watch for later in the race as to how it all plays out. It's definitely risky to do, but he's in the draft now, so he's going to get a bit more of his lap times are probably a bit closer to Harvey's, given that on the straights he won't lose as much as if you were to roll out by himself. As Harvey goes wide at tail return. El Nabi doesn't want to pass, that's the thing now. Don't try and pass Harvey. Keep using him to burst a hole in there. And use it to save some fuel. Keep the speed you would normally have and just roll out early. Here you might be 5 or 6 laps short on fuel is what you need to be for the one stop. So he needs to save 5 or 6, which is about 20 to 24 litres of fuel he needs to save across 2 stints, which is very doable. It's Aylward running very to the right of the road there. Cracknell looking to have a move here on Stratford. He's been stuck behind him for the last 3 laps or so. El Nabi actually has gone to the inside of Harvey at Sunset Bend. Oh, Aylward using all the grass there, just saw that in the back of shot. Bruce Keeley's doing a good job, tracking along in 7th place, just all by himself there. See him in the back of the shot when we were on the main straight there. In the SSR Commodore. Bit of front fender damage, notably from probably the scrimmage on that one. Mid-pack, but he's cleared out from Craig Jones nicely around 1.5 seconds, but he's 3.5 off Stratford, who's now been passed by Cracknell. Fast lap of the race so far is with Forza and up here, 2:03.4, sorry, a 4:14 compared to sorry, Tyson's just set the fastest lap at 3:88, so 2:03.388. So everyone to watch Tyson showed great pace yesterday. Can he show it again tonight? He's come in pretty cold turkey. He's just jumped on and done some laps in about the last 5 minutes and registered for this race. The Stratford Cracknell is still on in the back of shot. Aylward, I think, is just struggling for a bit of pace at the last lap. He was a second slower than the guys in front, and 4 seconds slower than the guys behind. 4/10, sorry, not 4 seconds. 4/10 of a second slower than the guys behind him. So Aylward struggling for some pace. I think Crackers will pick him up and put him down pretty easy, and Stratford might do the same. Just in the background, you've got Ross Rizzo, Greg Sharp having a little fight here over 8th and 9th position, running towards Le Mans. D'Angelo side by side as well with Mario Vlasic. This is for 13th position, sorry, 12th position. Vlasic gets that off D'Angelo there. And it's Todd Parks in the SSR Commodore with a fairly significant amount of front end damage. He's going to destroy his top end speed. It's going to give Vlasic another spot. D'Angelo might even think about following him through. No. Or potentially tight Parks is wide. Parks, yes. Angelo gets it in there. Can he get the power down? That's the big thing now. Got to get the power applied nicely. He's done it. There's an awkward couple of bumps on the exit there, and he's done it, so he's clear. Craig Jones might even get through past Parks here. So Parks is going to have no straight line speed at all, missing that front, that bonnet, a bit of aero damage. Going to hurt him as well. Vlasic wide. It's going to give D'Angelo a shot into turn 2. Does not make the manoeuvre. Back up the front though. Gap is out to 1.2, 1.3 seconds between Onabi and Harvey, but Williams is right there keeping Onabi company. And speaking of keeping company, Michael Cracknell is trying to join Aylward in the rear seats of that vehicle. Is very close, coming through turn 11, through 12 and into 13 now. Aylward's a bit wide, first part of Le Mans. Is Crackers going to make a benefit of this? Looks like Aylward's struggling with a bit of understeer. As I say that, Cracknell slides the front tyres across the road. He's got a better run though. Aylward's gone defensive already. It's lap 5, it's a bit early. He's trying to break the draft. It's a bit early for that, mate. It's lap 5 at 25, plenty of time to make it back. Expect Cracknell to have a dive here into Sunset Bend. And he does. What's surprising me though is how quickly they've dropped Stratford. Stratty showed good pace early on, but last lap was a 2:06, and as I said, Cracknell's gone very deep. He's overcooked it. He's butchered that, so now he's got to spend another couple of corners stuck in behind Richard Aylward. At that time, he's letting Williams escape. Williams is filling the mirror of the hybrid racing simulations. Commodore falls in El Navi with that bright yellow Commodore of his. Tyson just made the field tonight, car 19 and 19. There's probably one of the quicker cars out there. He's just set the fastest, or actually he's been pipped for fastest lap. He's done a 2:03.051. Luke Harvey's done a 2:03.005 in the lead of the race, so Harvey's showing some good pace. I still think El Navi's fuel saving. We'll check back onto him now, coming down the straight. See if he does roll out of it nice and early. Yeah, he does indeed. So El Navi's still saving. I'll check in with Harvey as just in the back around there. Sorry, Cracknell's around Aylward. So can he put the power down and get up to the rear of Williams, who's been definitely held up now by El Navi. Keely's actually catching Stratford. Last lap he didn't, but he's pulled in about a second so far. Last lap though he was 6 tenths slower than Rizzo, who's getting the hurry on from Greg Sharp. They're in 8th and 9th, just making sure. Norris is still doing a good job holding out his top 10 position. We'll go on board with Tyson as we run down the back straight. See if he is fuel saving as well. So Tyson doing a bit of fuel saving too, or he could just be rolling out early, maybe hitting the limiter, but I think it's Tyson is saving as well as El Nabi. I'm checking on Harvey next time there's a saving zone and see what he's doing. I doubt he's saving though, just with the pace he's setting. Last lap was 2:03.3 for Harvey, whereas El Nabi and Williams did 2:04s. So he's 7/10 of a second faster. The gap's now out to 1.5 from El Nabi to Harvey. Cracknell was half a second faster last lap than his pair as well, though, so he's going to be catching up pretty soon. So we'll just go and check Harvey for the fuel save. No, Harvey's going all the way to the braking point on the throttle, so he's not saving fuel. He's probably definitely committing to the two-stop. I think if you're going to save, you have to do it from the start, which is what El Nabi did. Surrendered his lead from pole, and hopefully it pays off later in strategy. If you are Harvey, though, you need to gap him quite substantially if it's going to work the two-stop, because the pit lane here at Sebring, it's pretty quick, but it's also a bit of a long one, and stationary time for a V8 Supercar is generally rather long for fuel. And if you're having to go through it twice and get some fuel twice, it's going to put you back probably about a minute and a half. So you need to get a good gap in this first stint to save himself, really. He's going to have to fight this in. He will have fresh tyres though when he does pit for the second time and try and come through with the fuel saving guys, but there's only so much a fresh tyre can do for you around Sebring, because if you get held up, it's the tyre's going to wear out pretty quick. So just looking down the field, there's no other battles at the moment except between Williams and El Nabi. One that is sort of tightening up is actually Stratford and Keeley. We've actually just seen Jason Quire is actually a lap down just in the middle of the Stratford-Keeley battle at the moment. So he'll jump out of the way whenever he needs to. Quire missed the start, I believe, so he's already a lap down. So I thought that was Cracknell having a slow down. Or Quire's nearly lost it in the sunset bend. El Nabi and Williams picking up the pace last time by 2:03.7, so still half a second slower than Harvey, but they were quicker than Cracknell, who was slower than Aylwood by a substantial amount. And Todd Parks has also got a lap down at some stage. We've missed whatever occurred to make him go a lap down. Last we saw him was still around 11th and 12th, so a few issues there for Parks tonight. Had a rough run last night as well on the VIR 500. I don't think him and Hobson's team had a great night. We're a bit of a punching bag, the Hobson's word, so hope Park's looking for a strong result tonight, just not quite happy for him. So we're coming to the phase of the stint now where the tyres are starting to hurt, and for guys like Williams and Sharp, who've been behind cars for a fair while, the front's just going to be absolutely tortured at the moment. When you're stuck in behind the car, the fronts get absolutely destroyed with the aero push that you sort of feel in some places, and I think we're just seeing Tyson make a little mistake. It's dropped him back a few tenths off of El Nabi. But he's very, very strong on the brakes into the line. But if you're Harvey, I think you'd be concerned about how much you're not gapping the field at the moment. You need to be doing a lot more than what you're doing to secure yourself on that two-stop strategy. It may even come a point where he's like, no, I have to save because I'm not going to win this race, and he's going to do a mad mega save to get it done. But if he's not doing it now, I don't think he ever will. Go on board to just check to see if he's changed his mind. Still driving it in deep. Keeley, Stratford, Rizzo tightened up. Actually, Aylwood, Cracknell, and looks like Sharp are in the lane. So they're the first of the cars to blink for pit stops. So keep an eye on where they cycle out. They will have fresh tyres and they will have clean air. So they need to apply it. I think Cracknell's got the pace to challenge Harvey outright tonight. So if he can apply his pace early in his stint, he can potentially jump him. Fresh tyres are worth quite a lot, especially 10 lap old tyres, 40-degree track at Sebring. It's going to be a significant advantage for Cracknell. We'll just see them and Aylward leading the lane. Aylward's actually managed to jump him in the stop. Aylward had a 3-second faster pit stop. Let's just bring those times up for you on the screen now. So you see Aylward 12.4 compared to Cracknell's 15.7. So potentially, of course, because there is 2 pit stops, you can split the loading you take in total over the 2 stops. So we could have seen Cracknell taking a bit more in his first stop and then have a shorter fill at the end, and Aylward's done the opposite. As he is the sort of the outlier at the moment. He's the only car to have done a quicker stop. Everyone's in around the high 15th to about 16 seconds window. So we'll just keep an eye on their lap times, see what they can do on their first flyer. There's that Williams again, still very close to El Nabi. He's just kind of following. We'll keep an eye out, keep an eye on my time and see if anything does change. But Stratford and so something's happened to Keeley. He's dropped back behind Morris. So that's 8th position because it was Stratford, Keeley, Rizzo, but now it's Stratford, Rizzo, and Vlasic. So we missed that on the broadcast. Won't be able to go back far enough now to get a replay of that. So our leader stays out as well as 2nd and 3rd. What does Stratford do? Stratty's very narrow, not pitting. So just keep an eye out for who does decide to jump into the pit lane. So far, no one. The gap between 1st and 2nd now is definitely ballooning. It's about a 2nd lap faster Harvey has been the last few laps than El Nabi. So he's just decided not to play ball there. Battle for 4th, still raging on between all. Vlasic goes very deep under brakes. Having a look at Rizzo. Vlasic has cleaned up his act since when he first came into the Vet Supercar Series. He was known to be a bit of a crasher, but he's cleaned it up. He's had some good results, notably a couple of top 10s the last few weeks. He's doing a good job so far. He's 6th, but corrected that'll probably put him down to 8th position. Rizzo goes to the outside of Stratford. That was never going to work. Never going to work for Rizzo. He's tried to turn in when Stratford's car was still there, and it's actually given Vlasic a free spot. Yeah, Rizzo, I don't know what he was thinking there. Going down, Stratford playing not really defensively, he just parked in the middle of the road, said pick your side, mate. Rizzo picked the left, and the left was never going to work. So he's left himself vulnerable. Stratford has to Vlasic, but Rizzo to Morris. Oh, I'm hearing someone spinning off in front. Not sure who. Might have just been Parks having a slide. Or potentially it was Jason Quire, but looking at Vlasic on the right hand side of the road. On board with Stratford, you can see the front end of Vlasic's car just pulling ahead there. Got good straight line speed. Stratford's rolling out very early. He's definitely saving fuel. He's actually on the clutch. He's on the clutch for a long way into the corner and shifted down very late. So Stratford full save, Vlasic is full attack. Ross Rizzo jumps onto the plane. So just an update, first flyer for Cracknell will be coming up just now. Aylward's still in front, so he hasn't got as much pace as I expected. So first flyer for the pair of them, 203.1 for Aylward, 203 dead. Nearly matches the fastest lap of the race there for Cracknell. 0.6 faster than the leader Harvey. So they're pulling it in there. We're about 5 seconds off the lead. So keep doing that for a few laps and you should be level with him when he comes out, but he will have the fresher tyres. For Cracknell, the key though is to get past Aylward. Aylward was 0.3 slower than him last last lap, so we'll begin to hold him up if things don't change. Narby and Tyson, they're still just line astern. Tyson's just playing the long game here. The key for these guys is as long as they get to halfway doing what they're doing, they know they can fill it up and they'll make it again if they keep doing the same thing. Half distance will be about the end of lap 12, start of 13 will be when halfway is. So for them, they want to get to 13 so they know they can push a bit more in the last 10 rather than get to 12 and know I have to save more to get to the end of the race. So Harvey might have actually duped me here. He might actually be going all the way. He could, if he can get to 13, he can go on one more stop. So we'll see. If he gets to 12, it's going to be a stretch. But so we're on 11 now, so he's already started 11. He's actually in the pit lane. Sorry, I've preempted myself there. Harvey's in the lane at lap 11, so he will. I'm going to say he will not make it on one more on this last stint unless he saves something special. So he's going to pit again. I believe he'll go another 10 laps and then pit for a sort of a qualifying run to the end. Big thing though is to watch where Cracknell comes out. So there's your overlay on the screen. When that red light goes out on Harvey's name, it means he's out of his box and away. And he's down and away. Where does he pop out? He's exit. He's just off the button now, and Cracknell and I would have jumped him. We've got Danny Trim, Tim Foltz, and Chris. Oh, sorry, Calvin, not Chris. Calvin is in the lane. I'm not going to try to attempt that last time again. I'm sorry, mate, but it's too exotic for me. So that's about a 6-second net gain for Alwood and Cracknell overall in that pit cycle. We've actually just missed it. Tyson's made a change for position with El Nabi. Tyson to the lead. I think Tyson's now like, righto, time to move the pace up a bit, let's go. And he's cracked on and made that pass on Nabi. He was very threatening for pretty much the last 8 or so laps. He's just parked him behind him very politely. Now he's decided to put the hammer down and see what he can do pace-wise. Again, they're on lap 12 now. So if he pits now, he's going to have to save a bit more fuel in the next stint. But if he can go one more lap, he's pretty good. So maybe use a bit more fuel next time. Because these guys are our probably competitive fuel savers. The guys competing for the win if they save it. What does Tyson do? Tyson to the pit lane. Forsen goes around again. So this will be interesting between this pair of them. Tyson will potentially have to save a bit more fuel in the next stint than Marty to get it done. Vlasic to the lane as well, so Vlasic should be good to go on this stop alone. Stratford to the lane too, Keeley as well. So these guys should all be fine to make it on this stop alone. Thing to watch for Tyson will be where the leaders come around. Cracknell's actually made a move on Aylwood in the last lap and got through on them. Harvey still slotting in behind, so Harvey's going to have his work cut out unless he starts to save very, very hard. So we're just waiting on El Nabi, Matt Morris and Craig Jones to do their stops, and then the field is cleansed. But our effective battle, well, a battle for the effective lead is here at the moment between Cracknell, Aylwood and Harvey. I'm actually going to try and listen to Harvey here into the hairpin, whether he is starting to save or he's still going. He's still going hard at it. And of course these three, especially Aylwood and Cracknell, they're locked into 2 stops. They pit around lap 9, so they're locked in, committed, going again. Harvey, it's not so much. He could potentially make it. It's a big job. Williams, who we're looking at now, just coming out of the hairpin, is locked into the fuel save. He's 10 seconds off of Harvey. So Harvey's extended the gap. It was 5 seconds when they pit, or when Harvey pit, sorry. He's extended it 5 seconds in the 3 laps that were separating those, or 2 laps separating those essentially in the pit stops. Narby's just rounding Sunset Bend. Does he come to the pit road this time by? He's running very narrow and sort of off the throttle, and he does. So point to watch now will be where does he come out relative to Tyson. As Matt Morris and Craig Jones should have probably come to the pit lane as well this time. So here's the leaders, Cracknell, Aylward and Harvey coming under the back straight. Forsen yet to hit his box. We'll bring up the pit road times again. So again, when the red light over El Nabi's name goes out, he is no longer in his pit box and he is driving down the pit lane. Of course, he's got the best pit box. He's right at the edge of the lane. He doesn't even need to use a limiter to get out of the pit lane. He can just floor it and he'll be under the speed when he hits the cones. So past the leaders. Tyson Williams just exiting Sunset Bend. El Nabi's down. He has had a 2 second shorter pit stop than Tyson. And he's out in front. Does he get through one in front? Yes, he does. He actually gained on Tyson there a bit. That's the shorter pit stop for sure there. The field's now cleansed. Morris and Craig Jones come to the pit lane. This is the best time for Tyson to push. Cold tyres for Nabi. Even though it's a hot track, cold tyres still play a factor. Let's see what he can do. So now the field's cleansed. We'll give you a full strategy update. Cracknell. On the screen now, Aylward and Harvey behind him, committed to two stops. However, El Nabi and Williams, they're good to go. They're saving the field at the end of the race. So for the three of those guys at the front, they need to push extremely hard. There needs to be a message between the guys saying, look, you need to get a gap, work together, don't try and pass each other. However, as I say that, Harvey would want to push on because he was in front of these guys. He's got a bit more pace. Let's see what he can do. Last lap, Cracknell nearly matched his PB, and same as Aylward. Harvey actually set his fastest lap of the race. However, he did off track it at some point, so it doesn't count officially, but he did a 2:02.8. Harvey is very much on it. He's not saving fuel. So these guys need to push that gap out because at the moment it's 9 seconds. What's going to be in their favour though come second pit stop time for these guys is those fresh tyres, and they will be an absolute godsend. I think 6 laps is what they're going to want to give themselves as much time as possible to get the passing they need to get done completed. Don't want to run it dry and have only 3 laps to sort of push, because that's just sort of shooting yourself in the foot. You want to give yourself as long as practical to pass cars while not sacrificing the new tyre life you will have over the guys. So you want to give them about 5 laps to wear them out. So lap 19, 20, you'll see some guys come in and pit and get those fresh boots on, fill the car up, and absolutely go qualifying spec. Attack the last part of the race, but Harvey needs to clear Aylward right now into 2. Doesn't get it done. This is hurting Harvey because Cracknell's now 1.5 seconds in front. Williams and El Nabi are once again locked in battle. There's about half a second between the two of them. Everyone else is sort of a second or so apart. Here we go. Harvey needs to fire it. He just needs to send it. Absolutely Australia Post Express. And he's down there. Does he get it stopped? Yes, Aylward makes it harder, but he's got him cleared. So Harvey needs to just eyes forward, put the blinkers on, and go. However, Aylward, of course, is a tough guy to race against. He doesn't make passing easy, and once you're passing, he wants to always get you back to the next corner. So we'll see if he has a go down the back straight. I'm not sure whether he's thinking strategically or not. He'll just want to be as high as he can whenever he can. But it's hurt Harvey. He's now 2 seconds off Cracknell, and he has had the pace to be at the front of his race. The gap between El Nabi and Aylward is 9 seconds. Gap between El Nabi and the leader is 12 seconds. So that's the gap we're kind of looking at, the gap between El Nabi and the lead car in that pack of 3. So 12 seconds is going to be about what the stationary time will be. as Elwood's actually, there we go, in the lane. 10 to go this time as well, so Elwood is in. So he's done 9 laps on his first set of tyres, and about 6 laps on his second set. So a bit odd. I would have gone a bit longer if I could in this middle stint to make the last stint as short as possible, but we'll see if he pops out of some clear air. He's revving the head off it. Very good for the fuel flow. He's burning fuel while it's adding to the car. Something that will tell him that's not how it works. Where's he going to pop out? He's in some clean air, which is what he wants. Wood has clean air. Put the hammer down. And jump Harvey and Cracknell is what I believe he'll try and do. Harvey though showing some good pace. He's pulled 2 seconds on El Marby in this lap alone. He's in half a second on Cracknell just this lap, his first half of the lap. Greg Sharp, someone who's actually moved up quite well so far. Well, actually, we got the gains and losses going on. So Cracknell up 3, on Arby down 3 from pole. Big mover D'Angelo up 8. Big loser, of course, is Stratford down 6. Jason Quire doesn't really count because he didn't start. He missed the start. Parks as well down 5 with some damage and had for a fair while. We've actually just had Tim Foltz drop to the back of the field as we get this going. So 10 to go, we'll do a run through, well 9 to go when we cross the stripe. We'll do a quick run through of the field. You've got Cracknell in the lead, Harvey second, Elnaby in third with Williams and in fourth, and then Sharp. Again, as I was saying, moved up quite well and he's handled the back of Williams there nicely in fifth. Vlasic's doing a good job there in sixth, seventh, D'Angelo Rizzo, eighth, Bruce Keeley, ninth, Matt Stratford in 10th, and then 11th. Morris 12th, Jones 13th, Elwood, but that will change when the pit stops cycle through. Trim, Calvin, David Miller, Todd Parks, Jason White and Tim Foltz round out the 19 cars in the field. Last lap, the lead 2 cars did identical lap times, both doing 2:03.09. That is something special. These guys are absolutely on it at the moment. Gap still 11 seconds. They were half a second faster than Elnaby, 1.3 seconds faster than Tyson. So Tyson's sort of struggling in the stint. Maybe he's just got to realise he has to start a bit more fierce, so he's having to back off a lot earlier than Sharp and Elnaby around him. Actually got a close fight here between Stratford and Keeley. Both these guys on the same strategy of the one stop. Strategy, of course, started quite well. Got himself up to 4th off the start and was the cork in the bottle for Cracknell for a few laps and then dropped off pretty quick. And he's doing alright so far, down in the 9th position. Fight back though, I think he lost a bit in the pit stops. He has he had the slowest pit stop in the field, bar those getting repairs of 24.5 seconds. Elwood in some clean air. He's on his outlap though, so we'll see what he's on his first flyout, sorry, so we'll see what he can do. Clean air by himself with some fresh rubber. Cracknell and Harvey matching each other again. So Cracknell's played his cards well, but he does have to take a longer stop this time around. Harvey, not so much. I think Harvey's going to be a splash at best. He might even try to save a bit. But for Cracknell, it's going to be a longer stop because he picked with Elwood initially at around lap 9. So he's going to be running out of range pretty soon. I think 8 laps left in the race. Elnaby's just actually punched out his fastest lap of the race at 2:03.04. So for the top 4, their fastest laps are all 2:03 deads. The only difference is the hundredths of a second, and they're separated by 5 hundredths, the top 4 of them, with their fastest laps. So these guys are absolutely on it. Oh, as I say that, Elnaby's gone very deep with the hairpin. I talked him up, and he's nearly fired off the road. What a classic commentator's curse that is there, bit of a stitch up. So that's put Williams back into the fight now. He actually had the draft sort of broken, so Tyson wasn't getting the help with the fuel save he might have needed. And Onabi was pretty clear and away, so he's brought him back into the fight now. Greg Sharp was still there as well, hanging around about a second and a half back off the Commodore there of Tyson. So Aylward, he had a fairly lacklustre outlap, first flight I should say, with a 2:03.9. That's not going to be a race winning pace there from Aylward. He needs to up that at a very rapid rate of knots. He needs to be down in the low threes, preferably deads and ones. Otherwise he's just not going to have the pace to, when the guys pit, to pop out with them. They're probably actually going to jump him at the moment, so they pulled in the last 2 laps. In the last flying lap they pulled 6 gentlemen, and they were with him before, so I say Aylward's going to pop out around about El Nabi potentially if it all cycles. In fact, I don't think he'll even get close. I'm a bit cooked there in the head predicting that. He's got 30 seconds to make up to get to El Nabi, and he's not doing it. El Nabi was quicker last lap. As Cracknell's done his pit stop, so we'll see now where he pops out. Daniel Trim behind him in the lane, parked at a very awkward angle. So this will be one to watch. Aylward just coming through sunset. You should be able to see him in the back of shot now. Oh, he's going to be awkward here for Cracknell. He's going to come out in the middle of some traffic. Matt Morris down the inside of him. Oh, that was Craig Jones nearly losing it there, right out sideways. Matt Morris throws it in there. Get it in there, son. He's done a bit of contact with Cracknell. This is not good for Cracknell. He's turned Morris. Morris has nearly collected Cracknell on the way back across. He's checked up Stratty and Jones. That was very scary for Cracknell indeed. Nearly ended his race on the spot. But as you can see, you can't even see Aylward. Aylward's just in the shot now. That's a massive gain for Cracknell. So Cracknell slotted into 7th position. He's 15 seconds... Sorry, 25 seconds off the lead. Well, off El Nabi. I'm going to say El Nabi is the lead because he will be once everyone's sorted out their strategy and what they need to do. So he's 25 seconds off El Nabi effectively, and 23 off the podium at the moment. So Harvey will have to pit at some point. The pace he's doing is not saving enough fuel to make it. So he's going to have to pit at some point. I'd be doing it around about now. Gives you enough time to set the pace, but what's going to be the problem is if you go 2 seconds back from Cracknell, you're with Craig Jones, and that's some traffic. You don't want to play with that. So you need another couple of laps to gap the field, which is what he's doing, another lap. Get a bit of a gap. You want to slot in nicely. He should have a shorter stop than Cracknell as well, so he may even jump in front of him, but there's not that big of a gap in front of Cracknell either. So ideally, if he can jump 3 seconds in front of Cracknell, he's in front of Bruce Keeley, who we'll have on screen, and he's got 10 seconds in front of him to play with to Mario Vlasic. So he's got to put his car, if he pits, in that window somewhere, and he'll be home. He'll be good, and he'll only be 14 seconds off the lead. And if he pushes really hard and the guys up front haven't got their numbers right and they have to save even more, Harvey's looking good. However, if El Nabi's managed this race well, which I think he's doing so far, he's pretty consistent with his lap times and not making a mistake like the last lap we saw. He's around the mid 203s. If he's got his numbers right, he should be fine. He shouldn't need to do a big save at the end, because what's the worst thing as a guy fuel saving is the last couple of laps you realise, crap, I haven't saved enough fuel, and you've got to back it right off. And that's when the guys in this two-stop strategy will come strong. If the guys got their numbers wrong, have to do a mega save to make it, the guys on the two-stop will just come flying by them on the straight. When they're lifting off, they'll be still flat full, and good night. And for Cracknell now, the mission is to make time, but he's stuck behind Bruce Keeley. He's got to get good drive off the hairpin here, which he has. He should round him up pretty quick as well. He ducked to the right here. And down the inside of Bruce Keeley he goes, gets that move done nice and clean. So minimal fuss there for Cracknell. Now he's got to go eyes forward. He's got 10 seconds to the next car, which is Mario Vlasic, who is saving. in on Luke Harvey, exiting Sunset, going around again. 6, so we have 5 to go this time by. Harvey could have pulled a Swifty here as well. Last time I said he's pulling a Swift rod on me, so maybe he's going to pit as well now I've said that, but there is the potential he's just a rocket when he fuel saves. He's done a 2:03.4, so he's not as quick as he was in the first stint by about 2/10. Sign he might be saving. However, I doubt. I don't think he's saving at all, really. He pitted about a lap too early to make it a comfortable save for the guys, for him. Just checking a few bit of change on the timing screen. Greg Sharp in the lane, so his position was sort of false. He's done a pit stop and he's dropped down. Aylward is back in the 10. Cracknell's still 25 seconds off the lead. He's pulled it in about 3 seconds, but he's got to do a lot more. El Nabi was actually quicker than him last lap. Him and Tyson is a full second slower than El Nabi. Tyson's not having a good second stint, as you can just see by power slow. Tyson's isn't the dirt track. Sliding's not encouraged. They're driving straight on the tarmac, mate. The encouraging thing for Forzan here, though, as we'll get him up on the screen for a bit, is that he's maintained the gap to Harvey since the stop. It was fluctuating a little bit in the battle, but it's been 12 seconds since Harvey passed Aylward. So for El Nabi, that's encouraging, especially when you're fuel saving. You're not losing lots of time with the guy in front. You know you're doing something right. You're making good pace, and you probably find when you're saving, you're not pushing into the corners as hard, so you're actually making better lap time. You're not burning the tyres out. You're getting a better rhythm, and you drive the car better. So Harvey's just coming into Sunset Bend now. For El Nabi, he's hoping he pits. He's absolutely hoping that Harvey... Oh, he's going to find the pit wall in a sec. There's right out sideways there from Harvey, nearly joined the pit wall at a rapid rate of knots. So 4 more laps remaining. If Harvey's going to pit, he needs to do it now, because he needs the time to catch up. He's gonna slot in. Was it Cracknell's last stop was 15 seconds. Let's say pit transition time is 15 seconds. You're going to lose 30 seconds. You'll pop in right on Mario Vlasic's tail, which is then 7 seconds off of Tyson. Now, if you're half a second lap faster, there's not enough time to catch Tyson. There's just not enough time to do it. So if you... I like what Harvey's doing. I know I'm talking a lot about strategy because that's what's going on at the moment really on the track, except for Bruce Keeley just got passed by Craig Jones. And that's Aylward coming up through the field now as well. Still not setting the world like the lap times, but he's doing a good job plucking away. But back to what I was saying about Harvey, I like what he's done. He's sort of psyching out El Nabi to a degree, because he went long in his first stint when El Nabi thought he might have been pushing because of the lap times he was setting. He went to lap 11, El Nabi went to lap 13, so he's putting that in El Nabi's mind, the doubt that maybe he's going to save this second stint. And the more laps that Harvey does before he pits, the worse El Nabi's going to think about his strategy. He's like, have I messed this up? Have I essentially thrown away a pole position, a lights to flag win? Because I think El Nabi had the raw pace to do it, judging by how far he out-qualified everybody by. Has he thrown that away to then lose by 12 seconds to a guy who's put an absolute ripper on you and get the strategy done? I'm just hearing Tyson might not make it on the field, and that's looking very correct judging by the lap times he's doing. He's now 4 seconds off the back of El Nabi, and El Nabi's still keeping up the pace. He's actually quicker than Harvey on the last lap. But what's Harvey doing? This is looking rather... Yep, Harvey into the lane. Here we go. So, my prediction, he'll pop out just behind or in front of Vlasic. He'll pop out in the vicinity of Vlasic. So this is what's going to be interesting to watch. So we'll go to Mario. We'll bring up the pit road overlay. Again, when the Luke Harvey thing goes red, he's in his box. When it turns blue again, he's in the lane. And Harvey, of course, has a second pit stall. So he's got a pretty easy run to the limiter line. Should be a quick stop here for Harvey. About 10 seconds. Yep, 8 seconds, here we go. Where's Harvey? He's just hit the button. He's popped out right where I predicted him behind Vlasic. So the gap is 18 seconds to the lead. Podium is 2 seconds away. Second, is 10 seconds away. You have 3 laps to do it. Good luck. Thing though is he's jumped Cracknell by 7 seconds, so he's pretty safe. Cracknell top 5, well, he's probably going to stay 5th. Vlasic is going to most likely drop to 4th. For Harvey, it's going to be a qualifying car, so it's going to absolutely be flying. Tyson Williams, I'm hearing, is in dire straits with the fuel. Last lap was a 2:06.8. He's just jumping out of the way of everybody, just trying to save some fuel. So second, oh, he's just turned Todd Parks. He's just turned Todd around. Todd was a lap down, and yeah, he jumped out of the way of Parks, letting him through, and then he's turning. Good Tyson, and they're alliance partners as well. It's going to be good for relations there. But the gap's now 4 seconds between Williams and Vlasic. I reckon second is achievable now to Harvey, because the pace for Williams is setting for 3 more laps. It's going to be, it's going to be very tight. Elnabi though I think is pretty safe, unless he's got his numbers wrong. I don't think he has. I'm actually just asking Forza's team manager if he's good for fuel. I'll see if I get a response out of him. So Tyson, he did a 2:12.1, 2:12.2, sorry. That is nearly 10 seconds off the pace. This is on. Vlasic can sniff. He can sniff second place here as well. If he can hold Harvey up, destroy those tyres, the advantage for Harvey's gone. The only real advantage he's got then is he can hold full throttle for a bit longer, and even then Vlasic probably saves enough fuel, so he's got enough to push at the end, because if you're playing it right, that's what you do. You'd save enough for the last lap if you try and run semi-committed. Now I'm just hearing that it will be close for Forza on fuel. How close? I don't know. Did I give that much away? But it will be close. But they're saying he will have enough, as Harvey has a very big dive on Vlasic. That was ambitious. Very ambitious. Almost as Richard Hampstead 3 wide into the roller coaster. They are ambitious, but he didn't crash, so it's all good. Harvey is going to get impatient. He's having a look again. Too far back. Really, if you're Harvey, you can pick off these 2 cars in 2 corners. Pick off Vlasic at Sunset Bend, pick off Tyson at turn 1. In fact, you might even pick off both of them at Sunset at some point, because by the looks of it, Vlasic will fire at you on the inside. So Andrew Asayas just said in the chat, I've never saved fuel before. Great, great to know from Tyson. He's never just like, oh, Vlasic, there we go. Vlasic goes wide, trying to pass Tyson. Down the inside goes Harvey. So I said he could get 2 in 2 corners. He got 1 there, so that's essentially 1 corner. Harvey will definitely get him at Sunset. So for a guy who's never even saved fuel, then Tyson's actually just jumped out of the way. Exits. Oh, is he? Exit stage right. Is he going to try and mess up Harvey a bit here? This is going to be very interesting in the run. Harvey's just got to get the power, and he's on the bumpy stuff out there. Oh, Vlasic! Vlasic is on the last lap. Vlasic pits on the last lap. We're on the white flag, and Mario Vlasic goes into the pit lane. He's gifted Cracknell 4th. Mario, what are you doing, mate? I was rooting for you, and you've thrown away a potential podium. He's in the pit lane getting some fuel to make it home. Oh, as we go back to Harvey and Williams. Harvey up on the curb. Williams is doing a great job. Oh, Harvey's out of control. Harvey's around. Harvey's spun. Out of 3rd position. He's got to get it going. He's got 5 seconds to get on the road. He's not going to get it on the road in front of Cracknell. Cracknell has 3rd position. Oh my god. The race has just gone off in 4 corners. Gone from Vlasic, Tyson, Williams and Harvey fighting for the podium, to Vlasic pitting, to Harvey around, to Cracknell on the podium. And Williams is probably safe now for 2nd. I said the last 2 laps would be interesting, and the last 5 corners have been interesting alone. This is brilliant. Haven't seen this sort of excitement in an official series in a long time. Bring back the fuel saving, I think, or bring back the multiple strategy option. It definitely throws it up there. Gets me excited. gets you guys as the viewers excited, and it makes it fun for the drivers as well, as opposed to just all flat out sprints. Give us a bit of variation in strategy. Makes for great racing, as we've seen potentially, we will see, a brand new winner in Monday Night Softs. Forza Nil Nabi for Performance Motorsports, the little team that operates out of the same team spec as TTR and TTL. Doing a great job so far. He showed great pace in the last couple of races for V8 Scops as well as official. And he's done a Monday Night Soft. Granted, not the highest soft in the world, not the strongest field we've ever seen, but it's a Monday Night Soft nevertheless. It's a broadcast race, and he's brought it home for his hybrid racing simulation sponsored Commodore. Congratulations, Forza Nil Nabi, winner, round 7 of the iRacing V8 Supercars official series from Sebring. What an absolute win, and he's going to do some skids and probably fence it here in a sec. And he does, in the fence. Nice one, and Tyson is going to hold, or is he actually going to hold on? You're going to look rearwards from Tyson's car, and he's going to make it. I thought he was coughing through sunset, but Tyson brings home second position with Cracknell in third, Harvey fourth, and Tyson Forza is trying to donut. He's doing some SVG spec skids. Battle between Morris and Sharp to the line. Morris to the outside, sorry, and Sharp doesn't get that position off him. That's Morris at 7th, Sharp 8th. Everyone else seems to be pretty safe to make it to the line. Only a battle there. Keely Stratford, that'll sort itself out. So we'll go ahead and bring up the race results in what was a thrilling last couple of laps there. We've got Forza Nil Nabi, debut winner in the series, taking the win quite a substantial margin, 23 seconds over Tyson Williams for Simworks Racing ANZ. Michael Racknell from STC Motorsports is in third position, gifted that there by Luke Harvey. Just getting up on the curb and losing the car there on that last lap in fourth. Fifth, Craig Jones, great recovery from him starting way down in 15th, up to 5th. Richard Aylward in 6th with Matt Morris in 7th. Richard trying that two-stop strategy didn't quite play out for him as he wanted. Greg Sharp, 8th, with Mario Vlasic 9th, having to pit on the last lap, running out of fuel, not having enough fuel, sorry, to make another lap. Matthew Stratford is in 10th position. Over the page, we've got Bruce Keeley in 11th with Ross Rizzo in 12th. David Miller, Christy Angelo 13th and 14th. Tim Foltz, Jason Quire 15th and 16th. Todd Parks 17th. Calvin is 18th and Daniel Trim is 19th, 8 laps down. So a cracker race there, went right down to the flag. Not for the win, but for the podium, it went right down to the flag. Well done to Forza Nil Nabi. Welcome back to V8 Online's live coverage of Round 7 of the iRacing V8 Supercars official series. We're on to the interviews now. Up first we've got Tyson Williams in second place. Never fuel safe before in his life apparently. Manages to pull it off and kind of get gifted second at the end there, mate.
Yeah, that was good fun. I didn't have any practice at the start of that. I just had all the TTL guys trying to teach me how to fuel save last minute, which was a lot of fun. Big shout out to them.
Well, it's good to see the TTL ANZ relations are semi-strong if they're giving you your fuel numbers. Maybe that's why you had to save a bit at the end. They're giving you some dodgy numbers.
Yeah, probably.
Well, but jokes aside, mate, cracking race. So you hung with Forsen in the early part of the race and it looked like you were going to push him right to the end there. Just those dodgy numbers didn't do you too well there in the second stint.
Yeah, I think I was only at the first stint. I think I was only half a lap off target, but then I got a little too aggressive in the second stint and didn't save enough. And that. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, mate. No, that's good. First one and proper official race. So yeah, always happy when that happens. But yeah, I actually didn't know it was a fuel saver until Bo Cubis did it in the early race, and he beat us by 20 seconds. So yeah, and me being good on fuel usually, being a right foot brake and all, I just thought I'd try my luck here, and yeah, came out tops anyway. Yeah, absolutely. I reckon we've got one in another 2 weeks at Phillip Island, so I'll be looking forward to that one as well. But yeah, I had good pace anyway. But yeah, being Scops being yesterday and all, not much practice, but yeah, to have that pace anyway was pretty good. And yeah, to win it by fuel saving was a bit interesting, but yeah, I mean, it happened. It worked at the end, so yeah, I'm happy, man. Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, shout out to all the boys at Performance Motorsports, of course, and to you, man, for the broadcast.